Thank you, Jewel. Thank you very much, Miriam. And thank you to your band. You having a good time?
I'm sorry?
You having a good time?
Yeah, having a good
How about you guys? You having a good time? Well, we've got lots of performances coming up. And for all of you at home, stay with us after the break. It's your chance to get interactive with Jewel. We'll be right back.
Interactive with Jewel, call 1-800-265-6824. You can fax us at 416-591-6824 or email us at jewel@muchmoremusic.com.
Jewel, we just saw you talking to the crowd earlier and performing in front of this audience. You've been doing it since you've been 6 years old.
Yeah.
And you seem very comfortable in front of an audience. Is that where your heart really lies, is performing live?
Yeah, I'm better at singing live than I've ever really been at doing a studio record. I just like interacting with the crowd. I really feed off of where the crowd's at. So you guys don't get off easy tonight. Your job to get me going.
Well, having said that, you do...
Easy over there.
Wolf calls. Having said that, you do have a brand new album out. So you went back into the studio. It's your 4th album called This Way. And you've said before that albums are really sort of like a snapshot of your life and how you're feeling at that time. So what was your mood, or how would you describe how you were feeling when you put together this album?
I pretty much quit the business after my last record, Spirit, and just wanted to concentrate on songwriting and not think about hits and all that type of stuff. You see so many famous people get like caricatures of themselves. They get more sensational every time they put a record out and more over the top and kind of silly in a way. And I wanted to avoid it all. So I just went back to writing and ended up feeling like doing another record. I didn't think about radio or anything. I just did a record I really like. I wanted it to be provocative and more like a live show, more rock and roll, sort of diverse, and I wanted to be pretty raw in the production.
Well, it takes a lot of courage to be able to step back from being in the spotlight. Did you ever need any help with deciding to do that, or did you just follow your own instinct?
It's up to the artist, you know. This business really mines youth, and it doesn't really know how to nurture longevity and creativity in an artist, so I tried to just stick up for myself, you know, and you have to do that if you're going to keep growing as an artist, and that has to be your priority more than fame, more than anything else.
And how do you center yourself in times like that where you say, I'm going to make a change and I'm going to step away from this? You know,
you see how much money I have in the bank?
I guess you don't have to worry about that.
It was a necessity. I mean, I didn't want to die creatively. You know, writing makes me very happy. Learning makes me very, very happy. And I wasn't being utilized the way I wanted to ultimately by the end of my last record. I didn't feel useful to people. And without that, there's really nothing that really nurtures me or feeds me in the business. So it was sort of a priority. It was getting that love back, getting that passion back.
Well, you just said that you do love to learn. Mm-hmm. So what was it about this album that you learned?
Co-producing this record was really important. Hiring a producer is like hiring a portrait artist. If you hire Picasso during his blue period, it'll be your portrait, but you'll look like his blue period. And producers are that way. And instead, I wanted to sound like myself, so I think that was a big learning experience.
Is it hard to listen to yourself and decide how to be objective with yourself?
No, I think the main thing is learning to follow your instincts. You know, I was sort of raised that when you're young, you need to pay homage to people that are older than you. And I've always tried to do that, except in this business, you know, my instincts, unfortunately, are the only one that really counts when it comes to my music. And so it took kind of more courage to sort of listen to my own opinion and discard a lot of other ones and turn a blind ear to a lot of what was happening on the radio and those things.
Okay. Well, Americana is sort of how I feel when I listen to your album. I can visualize myself driving down a country road with the windows open in a sort of warm climate. And you grew up in Alaska, which is, to me, the opposite, but maybe it's not. I mean, what drew you to that kind of sound or that kind of era?
I don't know. I was raised in open space, you know, so if there's a feeling of that sort of the open road, maybe that's why. I don't know.
Okay. Well, as you know, this is an interactive show, so we've got a lot of questions for you. Now, we've got one coming to us through Speaker's Corner, and it's coming to from Vancouver.
Very cool.
So we can just look over here and check it out.
Hey, Jewel, this is Jason in Vancouver. You look great tonight, by the way. You've often said you want your music to sound honest. How do you make it sincere?
It's daylight somewhere. How do I make my music sincere? Writing is I've always used writing. You should be honest with yourself somewhere in your life. And if you're not honest with everyone in your life, which we seldom are, you should at least be honest in your diary or in your writing and not kid yourself. So having that attitude as a kid, I was just sort of raised to be honest in my writing. And I find that's a lot safer. If you tell every secret on yourself, nobody else has any dirt on you. You can get it all over with.
Were you always comfortable with being honest, or did you have to learn to be comfortable with expressing yourself that way?
The art I've always valued has been artists that are really honest boldly. I'm not nearly as honest as Anais Nin or Bukowski or those types of writers. Plus, I don't have any emotions that other people don't have. I'm not a freak of nature. Everybody has lust, love, greed, envy, you know. It's not like what I'm expressing is, you know, earth-shatteringly different.
But at least it takes courage to be able to do that. I mean, a lot of people are not even honest with themselves, you know. Did your parents help you with that, or what do you think explains how you have that ability to be so honest?
I always thought that famous people are like, they're sort of the royalty of today, you know. They're born perfect and beautiful and talented, and you don't see their process very much. And when I read people like Bukowski, you could see their process. You could see how they struggled and how they strived and where their shortcomings were. And it made you feel like you could do what they did. It made you feel like you could be a part of them. And I've tried not to take advantage in my writing of my position by alienating people, you know, by making people feel like I'm that much better because I'm only showing you the pretty side or the, you know, good songwriting side or whatever.
Okay, well, speaking of including everybody, now we should take an audience question. We've got one coming from Graham. Graham, where are you? Hello. What's your question for Jewel?
I was just wondering, out of all your forms of self-expression, your poems, your songwriting, your life stories, which do you feel is the most honest and why?
Naked body painting with Farrah Fawcett. Farrah's deep, and people don't know it, but no, I don't know. What's most honest? Was that the question? Oh, I think poetry. You know, my songwriting, I do a lot of character-driven stuff, even if it's in first person, like the song Daddy isn't about my dad at all. Adrian's completely fictional and things like that. My poetry tends to be extremely honest.
Okay, well, now we've got a phone question, and it's coming from Shannon from Peterborough.
Hi,
Shannon?
how are you?
Hi.
Hi, Jewel. I just want to say that I think your last record is very phenomenal.
Thank you.
I was just curious. I've seen a lot of growth between your second album and your third album, and I was just wondering what influenced this growth.
You know, getting comfortable in the studio was really important. A lot of the songs on this record are actually quite old. I wrote several of them when I was 17 or 20, some of them just really recently. I think my real growth happened in, I did the record live in the studio, I did the vocals live, I did it live with the band pretty much. And having more control, understanding the knobs and the buttons enough to be able to kind of get sounds that I wanted. How's that for technical? Knobs
That's
and
perfect.
buttons. That's learning.
Okay, thank you so much.
Great. Well, thanks for talking with us, Jewel. We've got more to come. Stay with us after the break. Some more performances by Jewel. Just come out with a brand new album called This Way. Here she is with another performance.